Welcome back to how I would direct Epic the Musical. We're finally using OBS instead of my phone, and so I'm incorporating Canva into this and using the tracer and everything to move stuff around. Jumping into the Underworld saga, we have the first song being The Underworld. Now, with this, I would like to change the layout of the stage as clearly shown. The boat will no longer be on the stage right side, but will now be on center stage and kind of towards the center of center stage. And stage left would be the rock formation with the hut on the back. And for the Underworld, a majority of the showing will be lots of different crew members who have passed on, like Paul. Not, examples being those killed by Polyphemus and others killed by Poseidon will appear as spirits, and these spirits will use this bluish green fabric to represent the waves of the currents of the primary rivers of the underworld. And during this song, Odysseus' mother will also appear. My idea is she'll kind of move behind the stage from about here and behind the actors past Odysseus and across exit stage right, entering from stage left. So getting back to the actual song, they're slowly making their way through the underworld, and you see different crew members who have died. Odysseus' mother will appear, and Polites will come out and appear on one of these two balconies. I would say stage left balcony, as he sings out to Odysseus and the other crew. And after that, Odysseus' mother will come in. She'll have her moment, and then return to the chorus of the song as it builds and builds and then dies out. The crew will then fade away as the currents subside. They dock the boat. Odysseus gets ready to go confront the seer that will give him the answers he seeks. As always, if you like these videos, feel free to like and subscribe. Comment down below any suggestions you have. And as always, thank you for watching. Welcome back to how I would direct Epic the Musical. We're going to jump into part 2 of the Underworld Saga, No Longer You, my second favorite song in the Underworld Saga. So the set returns to a more generalized format. You have the two rock formations on both stage left and stage right. And you have the silhouette panel, which is going to be working overtime in this. The lights will be pale blue, like a bluish greenish, ghostly. And as Odysseus goes to confront Tiresias, the silhouette panel is going to be displaying different things. So every time the chorus begins where Tiresias talks about how he could get Odysseus home, you'll see an image of Ithaca displayed on the panel, and then as the chorus will go on, it will show a Song of Past Romance displaying the olive tree in the panel, a lightning bolt, and then a bag opening, Eurylochus, Odysseus adrift on the piece of wood, and then him on his deathbed. And finally, him holding Penelope and Telemachus as he goes through and sees all these different images, kind of representing what Tiresias can see. And then it jumps to Ithaca again, but the lights change from that bluish green to a sickly blood red, as it kind of references what will happen in the song Odysseus. And it will also show like the shocked faces of the suitors, and then eventually it will end with kind of a prelude to Would You Fall in Love with Me Again? Um, and again, jumps back to the chorus. The lights go back to that bluish green, sickly, ghostly color, and it flashes all the images from the chorus again. And then it finally, at the end, will do that grand No Longer You, where you hear the ensemble which will appear on the balconies singing about killing the suitors, the lightning bolt. You'll see those images flash again, and then right before the last little bit blares of No Longer You, you'll get a flash of Odysseus as a silhouette, and then horns and or like tusks or something kind of growing out of the helmet, representing what will happen when he does become a monster. As always, if you like these, feel free to like and subscribe. Please comment down below any ideas you might have, and thank you so very much for watching. Welcome back to how I would direct Epic the Musical. We're going to jump into Monster. Now, this would be the exact same stage layout as No Longer You. The key difference being there will be more cast members. So all of these spirits would be kind of representative of different crewmates, probably his mother, Polites, other characters that have passed on. And in this large silhouette panel, you'd have Odysseus slowly, like you'd see a silhouette of him slowly begin to transform into something far more monstrous, growing horns, tusks, something akin to that, out of a helmet. And the idea would be the lights would start out with that sickly pale blue from No Longer You, and they would transition into a crimson back to Odysseus's primary color. And then as Odysseus starts bringing up all the conflicts he's come across, for Polyphemus, the lights would change to bright blood red, to more of a magenta for Circe. For Ruthlessness, it would jump to that dark blue. And finally, when it comes to the siege of Troy, it would be a transitionary thing from that blue to a red that's not necessarily crimson, more like maybe a vermilion, to like a gold when Zeus appears, back to that crimson. And you'll see in that back silhouette panel different images go along with the lighting. So you'd have the eye of the Polyphemus, you'd have Circe and or a soldier turning into a pig, you'd have Poseidon's trident and or a horse, and then for the siege of Troy, you would see the hand drop the baby, which would come back up when he builds and builds and builds to that sequence where he talks about if he needs to, he will do what is required. And finally, deciding he will become the monster, the primary lights here will be red as they kind of a spotlight onto Odysseus, and then these backlights would be more of a drained gray to center the feeling while also kind of showing a decay of character. And eventually, it will just end with the horns blaring, crimson lights on Odysseus, and as Danny Mata once stated, now we enter Abysseus. As always, thank